People are quacking in the chat. I will repeat that. People are quacking in the chat. I was really worried about starting the show without a smile on my face, but you guys fixed that for me. Oh, everybody, welcome to a special Friday afternoon edition of another stupid sports show. I'm your host, Jim B. No, nothing that we're watching today. We're just hanging out, we talking a little. I have some things on my mind, but I figured I would also take some time to talk to you guys, anything you want to talk about as far as the sports world is concerned, because as we all know, I may be one of the only sports YouTubers who freely admits that he has no idea what he's talking about. So I depend on you, all of you to fill me in on information that can help me better understand what's going on in the sports world. So I think that's where I want to start today. But before we do, gotta thank the sponsors. This is sponsored today by Super Chill Cream Soda. And, of course, as always, the power of duck. Wow, we've got a lot of people in here. I see we've got Luke and Logan, William Kung Fu, and Nathan Jacob. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. So I guess, yeah, that's a good one to start with. Logan dropping it that Mac Jones is officially out. I saw Dave Bakhtiari's off the injury list and Jair Alexander is questionable. Oh, it's going actually pretty good. Kip Gaming. I'll talk about some of that a little later. But so it's going to be definitely the potential first stop on the Brian Hoyer redemption tour. That's right. That's what's going down this Sunday. Stop one on the Brian Hoyer redemption tour. And honestly, I should actually make a note of David Bakhtiari. Yes, I absolutely should. Oh, I knew that there was something that I was forgetting as I was making notes for today. Thank you for reminding me. And yeah, I saw that this morning, Logan. I was a little upset by that, but it's cool. Only 5. Give him some time to warm up, Kip. Oh yes, that was the question that I wanted to ask. Is this stemming from anything that he had to deal with last season, or is this a fresh injury? What's going on with Jair? How long do I think it'll take it for the Red Wings to make it back to the postseason? Alright, I'm just going to randomly say 4 years. And Nathan, your optimism is appreciated. And the Brewers crapped the bed last night. Oh boy. Is it going to put them out of the wild card, or is it just making it more difficult? The Geno Smith Redemption Tour, far more likely to make a stop this weekend than the Brian Hoyer Redemption Tour. Yeah, that the Seahawks-Lions game is going to be, I think, a lot closer than a lot of people on the ESPN Pick'em think it is. We are banged up. We are missing good players like DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra. Oh, it's an injury from the Tampa Bay game. Oh, shoot. Oh, dang. Has he ever had groin injuries before, or is this a new one for him? Uh, and they're 1.5 games out with 6 games left. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. Honestly, I haven't heard anything new about Hawkinson. 1.5 games behind if the Phillies sweep the Nationals in their 2 game series. Okay, and it's a new injury. Hey, Nathan. Man, does this feel weird again for you guys? Like, not automatically being the favorites anymore? Is it a weird feeling? I'm genuinely curious because I know that y'all had this like incredible run with Belichick and Brady, and is the difference noticeable now as a Patriots fan? Is it something you can like sense in the way you guys cheer for the games or talk about how you think that the season's going to go? Okay, okay. Oh, thank you, man. I was just curious about that. And oh, the Colts are. Ugh. Oh, that's going to be rough for them. Thanks, Foster, for that update. Oh, yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is based on the pitch that's Monty back there. He hasn't really been, rubbing the victory in this week, but oh, oh yeah, Titans do have a lot of injuries too. Oh boy. Brady's going to keep going, I think, until his head falls off. Bill Belichick will just let the earth swallow him whole, I think, during the next wild card game. Even if the Patriots aren't there, he'll just show up and then well, it'll seem like these great grass claws will come out of the ground and just drag him underneath like some weird Sam Raimi film. That's what's going to happen to Bill Belichick. You only watched 3 Brady Bowls, and that Eagles one was tough. Yeah, dude, I can imagine. I can imagine. Just because I was living in Chicago at the time, and that was the playoff year of the infamous double doink. So there were a lot of dazed looks on certain people's faces for the rest of that week. I only say certain people's because Chicago is such like a sports hub city, people will move there from any like the Big Ten school areas and nearby neighboring states. So you've got the Packers fans and the Bears fans and the Vikings fans all mixing up together. Big Ten rivalries. There's even a Buffalo Bills bar on Lincoln Avenue in Lincoln Park. So sounds about right for the hoodie. Oh man. Oh, that goddamn double doink. I I was I do remember that I was sitting in my parked car just actually I think I might have been watching Tom's stream of it. And that goddamn double doink. Oh yeah, oh yeah. In good ways, the shit talking can be part of the conversation. When it's good and fun, it's good and fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, Trubinsky, blessed Trubinsky. Yeah. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, Luke. I can't imagine why. Yeah, well, it was incredible. It was so weird and rare. It was it was like something out of a friggin' Disney movie, except, it goes wrong. Oh man. Well, all right. Is there anything else that important that I missed as of recently in the sports world? Any angle? Yeah, it was a Brothers Grimm tale. That is a very good way of putting it, Nathan. It very much is. Well, I'm waiting for you guys. I'll tell you the cool stuff that's been going on. I From one of the voiceover actors that I hired to help me do some station IDs, I got the final results today, and yeah, I am excited to get started on these. She did a great job. I'm still waiting on a few more from another voiceover friend of mine who's been recovering from COVID for the past 2 weeks. But he sent me the new station ID sign off message, and yeah, it was just what I was looking for. All right, William informs me the Giants' offensive line still sucks. CMC might be out Sunday. I am Jack's lack of surprise. How is Tua doing? I do not know. I do not know. Oh yes, and I saw from yesterday Luke's cricket team escaped certain doom. Leg before wicket. Leg before wicket. Oh yes, Monday's going to be quite lit, Foster. I am very excited to get started on these. Yes, he did go home last night with the team. There was the tweet today that said that Tua and Mike McDaniel were talking to each other on the plane. It's just good conversation, and then they watched MacGruber and laughed. Oh. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, Angie? All right. Yeah. Oh, God. Yes, I figured because the subject had turned toward Tua that we would need a little bit of a cat break to bring everybody's blood pressure down just a little bit. I know it's working for me. What are you even looking at, Angie? There's nothing there but a reflector. Yeah, there's been a lot of fun stuff on Twitter. And oh, Foster, that has come into my mind. And I do not blame you for that, Luke, saying that you hope they go 3-14. But it honestly, well, it made me think about a lot of things today. And I hope you all hold on for dear life because I'm about to get on my bullshit. I want you to raise your hand in chat if you've ever had to work while injured. I remember. Oh, I remember quite clearly. Uh, the times I've had to do that. Yeah. And some of you may know about this one, uh, but in my younger days, I was a dog walker, and I had this one client. I was walking her two dogs in Chicago winter. They were these, you know, big bull terrier, American bulldog, both, very very sweet, but they look like they could, break your knee if they ran at you full speed. That sort of built dog. And yeah, Zach B knows. And I remember I was walking them on the way back home, and I happened to be they were sitting up on the sidewalk as I was crossing this patch of ice that was between me and getting up to the sidewalk. Hey Andy, glad you could make it. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're enjoying. Oh, sorry that it's boring so far in college. And at that moment, these two spotted a golden retriever puppy down the block that they immediately wanted to go fight. They did not like other dogs. So they sprang into action. My arm, which was holding both of their leashes, jerked out. My feet went out from under me, and bam! Down on my shoulder, right on the pavement. And I could still move everything, and I didn't feel anything broken, so I thought I was okay. And then a couple days later, the pain started, and it got to be so bad that any time that I moved my left arm, I was in incredible pain. It got to a certain point where the only comfortable position where I could be just absolutely pain-free was lying down. Yeah. And I'd worked through twisted ankles and muscle aches before, and also I didn't have insurance at the time. I was between providers. So I was like, all right, I can give this. I can work through this. But it was too much. It was also at a point where money was kind of thin for me, so I was biking to work. And I have a very clear memory of biking down the Lakeshore Trail with that lake wind, Chicago wind, just piercing my face, having to hold my handlebars with one hand because I couldn't extend the other one to hold on. It hurt too much, and I spent most of that ride just every once in a while screaming my head off to relieve the pain. Yeah, I could have called in sick, but I needed the money. I had to work. And if I had to do it injured, then I would do it injured. I went to the nearest ER. They gave me a prescription for some higher level painkillers and gave me a cortisone shot. Because I, still had full range of movement. No bones were broken. And the pain went away. I could function again. Then it started coming back again about 3 days later, and that was also the day that I woke up and realized I was losing the feeling in my thumb. So I went back to the hospital. I ended up seeing a different doctor that time, and I explained, what had happened to me, that I had come in and now the pain's returning. And I was about to talk about my thumb, and he looked at me and just said, "What do you want me to do?" And he proceeded to then show me that I was perfectly okay because I still had full range of motion in my arm, even though I was only able to, grimace through it because I still had that last little bit of the cortisone shot hanging on. So the next day, I get to my first walk of the day, and I am just in pain, and I'm accepting that I'm going to have to go somewhere else. I'm just going to have to go through this all over again. And my client asks if I'm okay. I said, "Yeah, I think I really injured something in my shoulder, but the hospital I went to, they didn't believe me." And she said, "Where'd you go?" And I tell her, she said, "Oh, okay. This is the one you got to go to." And she directed me to a hospital over off of the Western Blue Line. The blue line that goes out into the west side of the city, not the one that goes to O'Hare. And they listened to me. They acknowledged that the thumb thing wasn't supposed to be happening. And I got treated properly. Oof. Yeah, I'm thankful I never had a broken bone. So I suppose I can understand if Tua felt like he needed to say just what he needed to say to get through concussion protocols and get back out there. I mean, this was an organization that had attempted to get Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady. The pressure is very much on him. He wants to show that he can be the guy here. So I understand if, he wanted to play through it. It also made me think of the time I got injured in a wrestling show. You see, I saw people, talking today about how it's a violent sport, and we have to expect the injuries to happen. They're literally, and in MMA, they're literally going out killing each other. We see it every day. Yeah, we see it much more often in MMA because the directed goal is a knockout, whether it's an actual knockout, technical knockout, ref stoppage, If you're doing it right, your opponent will either get knocked out, knocked silly, or, have to tap before they pass out. It's like that level of physical, endurance test. And except for the hard thing that was Bountygate, I would hope we would agree that the purpose of the game of American football is not to literally try to injure or kill people on the other team. We acknowledge that it's a dangerous sport and there can be injuries, but you don't want to be going out and trying to get people hurt. It made me think of that wrestling injury. Yes, exactly. I was working on, best I could describe it as a wrestling show in a sketch show form. Like, we weren't doing like hard slam moves, but we could, we could take super kicks and, bulldog people, and, a little bit of stage combat rolled in there. And welcome, Ambika. And for one match that they made it a feud between me, I was the camera guy, so they put me in a feud with the projector guy. And we thought, for a good spot, since we'd kind of had a theme of, hardcore destroying each other with expensive electronic equipment going through our fights, that I would take a couple of chair shots. And as we practiced, me and the head of the show, you're supposed to take a chair shot with as flat of a back as you can give them. Ambika. Okay. Hang on, we'll write down. So, I practiced doing the chair shot with the head of the show, just so I can know how it feels, and it's noisier than it is painful. It's okay. And I go over to the guy who's supposed to be interfering and giving me the first chair shot, and I ask him, "Hey, can I practice with you?" He says, "Don't worry about it. I've done it before." I'm like, "Okay, all right." He was the producer. He was like the head person who would come up with the angle that we were running. So, I was willing to defer to him. I go over to the projector operator. He practices the chair shot on me. He gets it. And the match is going, and, I'm waiting. I've beaten the hell out of the projector operator, and I'm getting up on the top rope, which was the top step leading to the other part of the stage. And the producer comes out, the chair in hand, and right in the back of the head. I immediately knew that I was concussed. I knew that feeling. I had felt it before. I remembered it very clearly from the time in high school when I was striking a show, and I was running up to the tech booth to fetch something for somebody, but people had gone up to take care of some things in the lighting area, and how they got up there was through a trapdoor that hung right at the top of the stairs going to the tech booth, and I ran face first into it. It is a miracle I didn't fall down the stairs and die, but that was my first experience with what a concussion was, and I recognized it. And I remember having the feeling that, fucking asshole. You asshole. And I was trying to, disguise my obvious concussed self with exaggerated staggering and struggling to get back up off of the mat, and get myself into position. Other guy does the chair shot perfectly. He pulls off my prom dress. I lose the match. Yes, it was a prom dress match. We weren't real wrestlers, so they decided to humiliate us. So I ended up thinking about that when I saw the play this morning. I went to sleep early last night and I didn't watch the game. I saw what happened, and I remember I recognized that wobble. Anybody who's been knocked silly like that, you recognize the wobble. No, I don't still have the dress. I think everything from that show got thrown out, from the costumes to all the chocolate pudding for the mud wrestling match, which I'll tell you about in a future show, I promise. And I guess that's what bothered me about the whole thing, is that from that first wobble during the Bills game, someone should have spotted that. And it should have been spotted, I would think, more easily by people who have experience on NFL sideline, who've seen what injuries do to people, who have the medical degrees and not all just the armchair Twitter doctors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I ended up thinking of RG3 and how badly he wanted to be the guy for DC. He was championed as like the quarterback that was going to bring them back to the playoffs. And then he got run into the ground at the orders of goddamn Dan Snyder. Of goddamn Dan Snyder. Yeah. You know who else was in DC for that little period of time? Mike McDaniels. He was part of the Washington coaching staff at that time. And having all those things thought about, I could see how people would believe that everything is on the up and up, and this is just an unfortunate part of the playing the game. And I could see how people could think that there's more going on. I don't think there is. I mean, I would like to believe that there's somebody on that Dolphins sidelines who saw how Tua got up, had to try to shake his bell straight, and stumbled on the field and didn't think. that maybe we should look at that. And maybe we should be a little more careful. I can also understand how he'd be right back out on the field. No, Luke, it's not. It's not also his first rodeo with an owner who is trying to actively fight for the title of worst in the NFL. Yeah. Tua just tweeted, "Want to thank everyone for all their prayers and support since the game last night. It was difficult to not be able to finish the game and be there with my teammates. But I am." And of all the goddamn things, grateful for the support care I've received from the Dolphins, my friends and family, and all the people who've reached out. I'm feeling much better and focused on recovering so I can get back out in the field with my teammates. The joke that got me was somebody saying it was McGruber. Nobody laughs at McGruber. And I'll admit I'm not exactly the biggest fan of a lot of late period SNL, but I do remember that when I was getting my leg sewn up in the emergency room, I was I was laughing and kind of joking with the doctor. In fact, I think the entire time of that incident, from when that woman hit me with her SUV as she was trying to get into the Chase Bank drive-thru, to people from the Chase Bank coming out to help me bandage up my leg, which my bike gear had dug into, and now there was blood pouring out of it. The whole time, I wasn't feeling any pain. It's like I saw everything that was going on, and there's an open wound in my leg, and I'm thinking, this should hurt. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Okay, something's wrong. I'm in shock. Ha 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 ha. Wow. Great day. I mean, right, everybody? Shit happens. Yeah, I would like to get your information. That would be very helpful. And because I was very fortunate that I got hit half a block from an emergency room, I left my wrecked bike locked to a pole, walked to the ER, and just walked up and said, "Hi, I just got hit by a car, my leg's cut up. I need to see a doctor." And receptionist looks over, looks down at my leg, and her face changes immediately. And she said, "We will see you right away." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And sure enough, like 5 seconds later, someone else has come out and already taken me into the back to get sewn up. And I think, mostly as I remember it, I was laughing to keep from screaming, because it was the first time that I had ever had such a wound like that. And I was just telling myself to breathe the whole time, and doing my best not to look at things, and gently acknowledge, okay, now I'm getting sewn up and it doesn't really hurt still, but oh man, I'm actively aware of the fact that I'm getting sewn up, and that's kind of weird now. And that's why I wonder That's why I wonder about Tua's laughing. I wonder if he realized that there was something wrong and maybe he needed to panic. Because, it's such a common thing, these injuries. They happen all the time. We see them all the time in sports. It's part of the sport. I mean, what are you going to do, you friggin' soft boys? You're going to make it so we're all playing flag football? That's ridiculous. No one is suggesting that. I'm just saying that somebody saw it on that sideline, and somebody knew what was going on. And the fact that people are so going to one side or another in this argument, like everything's a lie, everything's the truth. I can understand, because we've been lied to before about, the consequences of sport. Hell, it took a long, long time, for people to even admit that CTE was a thing. But I just want to say to whoever was on the Dolphins sideline during that Bills game, and who saw it, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. I would have thought that you could have understood where this kid was coming from. This kid who really wants to get his dream to do what he loves, play the game he loves for a living. And this isn't going to help him. It's going to hurt him. It's going to affect how much he can negotiate for in contracts, if he can get any guaranteed money at all, because now that he's had a concussion, he's more likely to get them. I just hope the next time you see it, you actually say something. And we can't stop all the injuries, but maybe we can just stop one more because of this. That's all I ask. Other than that, the sun is shining, the stars still hang in the sky. And we have all survived another day in this weird fucking world. congratulations, everybody. And thanks for coming here to listen to me get on my bullshit. I am probably need to go have a nice lay down right now because I'm a little overcome. And I'll probably see a few of you in Grossi's Q&A tonight. Everybody else, and everybody in general, I hope you enjoy your weekend. I'm going to be doing some streams throughout the weekend of different games. Check my Twitter in the description if you want to find out which ones it is. This has been another stupid sports show. Take care.